Here's a self-centered argument for diversity in scientific research, because the generous argument should be pretty clear. If we want the findings of scientific research to benefit everyone, then we need everyone involved in scientific research at all stages. But what if you don't care about everyone? What if you only care about you and people like you? You should still narcissistically want diversity in scientific research. Though let me be very clear that I'm talking about diversifying populations in studies and clinical trials versus the historical trend of only studying white men, not experimenting on minoritized communities. Okay? But studies on one group of people turn up findings that might be useful in other groups of people. Take, for example, advances in prostate cancer research that came from breast cancer research. By studying cancers that are more likely to affect women, we found solutions that could help people of all genders. To make a long story short, research on breast and ovarian cancer found a link between the BRCA genes and cancer risk. The BRCA genes are involved in DNA repair. When they're mutated, cells can accumulate a lot of DNA damage and become cancerous. By studying these genes in these cancers, scientists developed a class of drugs called PARP inhibitors. These target another part of the DNA repair pathway and can help kill cancer cells. They were first approved for things like breast, ovarian, and fallopian tube cancers, but now they're also being used in things like prostate and pancreatic cancers. Another example is PCSK9 and cholesterol. By including a Black population in research, we found cholesterol solutions that could be helpful to many populations. DNA sequencing of an African American population over 20 years ago found two variants in a gene called PCSK9 that were correlated with lower LDL cholesterol levels. That's the cholesterol that you want to be low. These variants were common in African American populations, but not in European American populations. This means they would have been harder to find by only studying white people. But this discovery was a really important piece of evidence that lowering expression of this specific gene could help be a way to manage LDL cholesterol levels. And now we have a new class of drugs for managing cholesterol called PCSK9 inhibitors, especially for people who don't respond well to statins. And finally, all those weight loss drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy that are hitting the market, those were originally developed in the course of diabetes research that was looking at populations of diabetics. But now they're being used for weight loss in lots of different populations, not just in people with diabetes. So even if you're not Black, don't have ovaries, and don't have diabetes, if you have high cholesterol, prostate cancer, or want to lose weight, you should be really thankful that we did research on people who are not just like you. Slashing funding for research on diverse groups doesn't just hurt under-resourced and underrepresented groups. It hurts all of us.